We're going to start off this video with a few notes on making decisions and forming judgments. First, we'll start off with using and misusing heuristics. Heuristics are mental shortcuts that often help us overcome analysis paralysis. It all started in 1974 with cognitive psychologists Amos Tversky and Daniel Kahneman. They both studied the representativeness and availability heuristics and how their generally helpful shortcuts can lead smart people to dumb decisions. Representative heuristics. Judging the likelihood of things in terms of how well they seem to represent or match particular prototypes may lead us to ignore other relevant information. They also influence many of our daily decisions. The availability of heuristics. Estimating the likelihood of events based on their availability in memory. If instances come readily to mind, perhaps because of their vividness, we presume such events are common. They also enable information to pop into mind quickly and with little effort. Overconfidence. The tendency to be more confident than correct, to overestimate the accuracy of our beliefs and judgments. The belief perseverance phenomenon. Clinging to one's initial concepts after the basis on which they were formed has been discredited. We have a tendency to cling our beliefs in the face of contrary evidence. The more we believe, the tightly we cling onto it. The perils and powers of intuition. What's intuition? It's an effortless, immediate, automatic feeling or thought, as contrasted with explicit, concise, conscious reasoning. It feeds our gut fears and prejudices, enables us to react quickly and usually adaptively. The effects of framing. What's framing? Framing. The way an issue is posed. How an issue is framed can significantly affect decisions and judgments. Framing research finds a powerful application and definition of options, which can be posed in ways that nudge people towards better decisions. For example, preferred portion size depends on framing. Is a restaurant offers a regular and alternative small size menu option, most people will elect the larger option. If the restaurant makes a small portion the default option and relabels the larger option as supersized, more people will choose the smaller portion. That concludes our notes. Today we're here to talk about the decision-making process. There's 6 steps that go into this process, and we'll be using a scenario that goes through each step to help us better understand this process. The decision-making process defined is a cognitive process where one selects a choice among available options. For example, let's talk about Jimmy opening up a new restaurant. Jimmy is going to open up a new restaurant. Step 1, identifying the decision. The first step Jimmy must make is realizing his decision of opening up a restaurant. He'll also need a location and dining room for his customers. Therefore, Jimmy needs to find a space for his restaurant. Step 2, collect relevant information. Next, Jimmy will have to collect relevant information to make an informed decision. He'll need info on restaurant space, purchasing and leasing, and such things like that. He could go to the internet, use books, or even go to a local restaurant owner for some advice. Stop. Step 3, identifying alternatives. Once Jimmy has collected enough relevant information, he can determine his options. Should he rent or buy a building? Where should it be located? These are all questions Jimmy must think of when doing this process. Where should he do it? I don't know, you tell me. Step 4, analyze alternatives. Jimmy has narrowed down his options, so now he has to analyze them. He might start with the costs and benefits of each option. Then there's location and how that factors into his business. This is the thought process needed before taking action. We're almost there. Almost. Step 5. Select an alternative. This step is pretty self-explanatory. Based upon his analysis in the previous step, Jimmy will pick up the best option for him and his business. Hopefully, it's the right one. Step 6. Act on the decision. Jimmy can finally begin the process of opening up his restaurant. He'll find his location, either buy or lease out the property, and get started on his new restaurant. Congratulations, Jimmy.